Assalamu alaikum everyone. Good day, Dr. Aireen and also Dr. Farhana. In this video, I am going to present, I am Raghad here, and in this video, I am going to talk about the topic of my mini project research, which is the social interaction in massively multiplayer online role-playing game, which is a case study of figure life. So let's start by introduction. Online multiplayer game has become increasingly popular, and the general growth of the computer networks has allowed many people to. Okay. All we know that online multiplayer game has become increasingly very popular and make the general growth of the computer networks. The emerging technology and these emerging technology and future world have allowed people to meet and interact. Besides that, also creative alternative forms of association. So online games become many people today play online games and many of these players are part of the game, promoting cooperations and competitions at the same time. So this study basically set out to investigate the social interaction and communication in online game using Figure Life as a case study. So a Figure Life is one of the online games that is created by a gaming studio named Raghad Publisher Ltd, and it is online that it is a play that is allow teens and adults to chat and make new friends, and also it is available on the Google Play and Apple Store, which is free. And online African Life also a word game that lets you become the person you have always wanted to be. So and there's several methods of customization, such as skin tone, hairstyle, and hair color, and many features in this game. Basically, as this study aims to investigate basically the social interaction, so around over the use and gratification theory, as it is emphasized on the use of online games as a source to gratify player needs and their interest, and also understanding their multiple gratification for their interaction online, to understand depending on the theory their reason in interaction in online games. Besides that, I found that many studies has focused of interaction and communication, and how also a lot of studies has focused on a lot of studies has focused on the language on or identity, the language and also I continue that a lot of studies focus on interaction and communication, on a lot of studies focus on language that use in future world, or the language or focus of the future world of and the identity. But if you study if any exists with the social interaction in ethical life as a case study, focus more on how social interactions are created in this future world and developed. Why does the interaction extended outside the game? Basically, focus on the reason why players interact or socialize in the environment of the online games. So, in addition to that, my also aim to add to the current knowledge of the social interaction and the virtual world. So my research question here, how social interaction created in the virtual world? And my second question, why social interaction created in the virtual world? Does the social interaction between players extended outside the game or not? So moving on to logical view. In this section, my aim to discover other research opinion on social interaction in virtual world. The virtual world has or environment was described differently by various researchers. But by far the most commonly used definition of the virtual world in current literature now is Bell, who defines it as a synchronous represents a network of the people represented as avatars facilitated by networks computers. Another definition is that a future world is a multi-element combination which, according to Mohana, involves computers, world and environment and interactivity. Emergence users who are usually referred as participants in the virtual reality experience. Besides that, the social interaction and communication in the virtual world, the communication, I see that communication between players is essential in the world of multi-online games. There is a plenty of methods that can typically use in this environment, ranging from verbal to non-verbal interactions. So therefore, a proper communication model can also provide a positive player experience. A lot of study has found that, like Crofts in 2011 demonstrated by their study that one of the most scientific features of the online games is social connect between players. Uh, which means that online games give ability to communicate as well as establish relationship through avatars. And there is a lot of there is different functions or quests in this environment that require to be completed by various characters with different abilities and gamers interact socially with the other gamer in this game. It is found that also that players who search for social interaction within game may be face problem with creating social interaction within their real life. So they avoid avoid face-to-face connection because some players can have real-world rejections issue. Moving on to the my methodology section. This research, as this research based on a qualitative approach method or approach performed in a virtual world or the of African life with the ethnographic analysis for almost 3 months. 3 months. So it is because this a short time. I think it is a more popular to refer to this research as a mini ethnography research. So a short, I would like to give a short definition of ethnographic research, which is a qualitative method where researchers observe and interact with the study participant in their real life in their real life also observe and the participant. So a lot of time has to be spent in the community as a way to immerse oneself. So I enter the game. As you can see in these pictures, I enter the online games and with my real name, as you can see, Raghad and my ifta was choosing. So from the participant, all participants were informed or participants were selected at them by asking if they would like to be interviewed or to be part of to be my participant or to take part in this study. Besides that, to be as ethical issue and all participants were informed of the aim of the interview and the study and my aim here my objective is to involve both male and female participants in the study. So I approached 3 of the 8 participants who finally agreed to be interviewed. 2 were men. As you can see here, this is the files of my 3 participants. Moving on to data collection. In this section, the data collection in this study involved actually 2 methods. One is participant observation, and I use 2 forms of observation, and this study participant observation and non-participant observation. Participant my aim is in participant observation to become part of the community and by being in the fold in the community rather than from distant rule as in non-participant observation. So my aim in the non-participant observation is document observation to observe only without any interaction with the participant. So I think at its ethnography approach, a quality, the researcher is the leading data collection research institute and gather the data in the fault notes. Besides that, my second method for data collection is a semi-structured interview, uh, which is my second method for data collection. I choose this kind of interview because it is provide me a scientific amount of leeway to test a respondents and at the same time preserve the basic structure of the interview. Even it is a guided discussion between researcher and interviews, the researchers are given a practical flexibility, versatility. So let's speak about data analysis. Data analysis in this study. In this study, actually, I used the data was analyzed by using thematic analysis adopted from Bern and Kerr. I use thematic analysis because my aim is to figure out the reason for social interaction communication in virtual world and how players socialize and communicate and expand this interaction beyond the game. So first, the interview performed. I think also that thematic analysis is better for, it is suitable for the transcript of interview. So the interview was performed and transcribed and thematic analysis I used. As we all know that Bern and Kerr identify six phases of using thematic analysis. One is familiarizing yourself with your data, generating an initial report, searching for themes, reviewing themes, divining and naming themes. The last stage is producing the report. So basically, following this step in analyzing the data from interview, the described data was inspected numerous times and not worth taking. The process of coding were also carried out. Code was color coded with Microsoft Word and followed by categorization of highlighted text. This process actually is repeated many times until the following theme appears. And for my unit of data analysis was the word or the phrases, the sentence actually I get from my participant. So the main thing that appear is social environment for friendship, and the second is extension of social interaction or social restrictions and safety immunity. Besides that, I also like to speak about the ethics of the research. In this study, I implemented I went on the four ethical research procedures recommended by Cousins in 2002 for ethnography or for researcher while they to follow while conducting research of study in the virtual or online world as I am doing. So I choose these four procedures to depend on it, which is the virtual community should be fully informed about the presence, evaluations, and intentions of the researcher. As from the beginning, I informed all my participants about the aim of the study, the object, the questions, and so on. And secondly, the confidentiality and immunity of participants should be ensured. And the third one, that researchers should seek and incorporate feedback from the members of the virtual community. The researcher should obtain also the permission, I take the permission of my participant to use a specific posting. At the end, I to talk about the conclusion and the future communication. As I said before, that this study this study set out to investigate basically the social interaction or understand the reason behind the social interaction and communication in the virtual world. Therefore, this study provides some insight of social interaction and communication in online games. So I found that players use the virtual world as a platform for introverts to socialize, and players really enjoy their time where they feel more comfortable. So the third way is a place for user to also to whoever he wish to become whoever he wish to without any restriction that found in his real life. For implementation, basically there is, and I can say that there is a need for more research in this field, basically as there are limitations of this study, present study, that that like that the future researcher should take to into construction, since there is a very little I depend basically on the data obtained. I depend entirely on the responses of my participants to the interview question. So yet various sources of data collection may enhance similar features studies, such as feature research maybe include both online and offline data collection and so on. So, for example, examining participate social media accounts or conducting face-to-face interview, and this is maybe give us more of a result. Besides that, the most limitation this study, the number of participants, as you can see that I have 3 participants, so that take part in this study. So more participants maybe give more interaction or even contrasting outcomes. At the end, I would like to thank you, Dr. Aireen and Dr. Farhana, and all my colleagues for listening to me.